Hey everyone, it's Tim from Linessa Farms Specialty and Heirloom Livestock. Thanks for joining us again today. So we normally tell you lots and lots of stuff on our channel about what you should do. And today I'm gonna flip that on its head and we're gonna talk to you about the things you shouldn't do. This is gonna anger some of you, so make sure that you get into a safe place where you can scream real loud and nobody's going to hear you. Make sure you don't have anything breakable in the area as well. If you have a comment, if you have a better idea, I want you to leave it in the description below. If you have an idea that I didn't think of and we decide that it's one of the best ideas out of the group, you are going to get a $100 gift certificate to Foundation Feeds. So make sure that you pay attention. Make sure you leave those comments below. With that being said, let's get started with the top 30 things you shouldn't do on your sheep and goat farm in under 10 minutes. These have all been chosen randomly. No one point is more important than another. So let's get started. Point number one, don't give advice. Don't do it unless you can back it up with personal experience or some kind of scholarly work from a reliable article or a veterinarian. You're hurting more people than you're helping. If you don't know what you're talking about or if you have no personal experience with it, just don't say it. Point number two, don't sell bad stock off your farm. Your reputation is at stake. Don't rip anyone off. Treat everybody as if they are your family and you will never have any problems. If you don't like your family, then just treat them like you would someone that you actually cared about. If you sell an animal that is off in the mouth, has had mastitis, has birthing problems, anything like that, these people are going to have a horrible experience and they will never ever buy from you again. Point number three, don't buy any stock that has problems with their mouth or their bag. If that mom can't feed her babies, you are gonna end up with bottle babies and you're gonna end up with all kinds of problems. If she's had mastitis before, she's probably gonna get it again. If she has a hard bag, she could have some serious problems that you don't wanna bring into your flock. Problems with the mouth tend to carry on over to young and it will wreck your flock. If they are off in the mouth, it's gonna get worse as they age and it's going to hurt them nutritionally because they're going to have a hard time eating. Just don't do it. Number four, don't ever make a bottle baby unless you absolutely have to. Don't ever pull a baby off of a healthy mom that there's nothing wrong with and make it a bottle baby. It's bad for the baby, it's bad for mom. Don't do it. Point number five, don't go in with your animals wearing open-toed shoes, slides, flip-flops, even if it's just for a second. If you've ever been stepped on by a foot on your foot when you're wearing flip-flops, yow. Point number six, don't buy bottle babies. I know. They're not healthy 9 times out of 10. There's something wrong with the mom. You don't want to bring those genetics into your flock or your herd. You can't do it with the males because you're going to end up overhandling them and they're going to get meaner than hell. Just don't do it. If you want something that's going to love you and you don't have any children or anybody that cares about you, go buy a puppy or a cat, preferably a puppy. You'll get everything you need. Lambs and goats are not puppies. They're not made to be handled that way. They don't belong in your house. They don't belong being cuddled, and you don't want to buy bottle babies. I want you to have a good experience. In order for you to have a good experience, that involves you getting an animal that's not going to die on you and that you're not going to have tons and tons of problems with and that you can potentially resell and work into your flock or herd and have it be successful. You can't do that with a bottle baby. Point number seven, don't skip basic vaccinations. There's all kinds of things that are out there that your animals are potentially going to be exposed to that you just can't control. I don't care if you are on a confined lot, I don't care if you're out on pasture, wherever it is, things like tetanus exist in our environment and you can't do anything to protect them from it other than give them the vaccination. Number eight, don't chase the sheep and goats. If you end up getting them worked up into a frenzy to where you can't catch them, it's gonna take time for them to calm down. Point number 9, don't feed off the ground. Now this isn't possible to do all the time. We understand that with round bales and feeds, sometimes they'll get it on the ground, they'll knock it on the ground, and then they'll start eating it, and that's okay. But we don't want you purposely going in and throwing the feed on the ground. This is gonna open them up for things like infections, worms, coccidia. They're already gonna be exposed to it. We don't want them to be exposed to it any more than necessary, so try to keep that feed off the ground. Point number 10, don't wait until you have a sick animal don't to buy medication. There's some medications and some supplies that you should have on hand at all times just in case. You don't want to find yourself late one night having a problem and having to run out to a store that isn't open or calling a veterinarian whose office is closed in order to get the medications that you need in case of an emergency. Point number 11, don't leave an immature or unproven livestock guardian dog around your pregnant ewes or does or around your baby lambs or goat kids. These little guys need to be treated like the kids that they are as well, and they need to prove themselves to you before you trust them around any babies. We don't want any accidents happening, and we don't want to set these guys up for failure. Point number 12, don't feed your littles and your bigs together. Don't feed your adult ewes with your lambs. Don't feed your adult does with your kids. Your bigs are going to push out your littles. Your bigs are going to get bigger. Your littles are going to get littler. Point number 13, don't give them medication unless you know what you're giving it for and have a basic idea of what you expect the results to be. Point number 14, don't keep bad moms or their offspring. If you have a mom that's really crummy, if you have a mom that doesn't make any milk, if you have a mom that has a problem with her gait, her bite, her walk, anything about her, just call her. Point number 15, don't turn your back on males. You'll get away with it for a while. And one day you'll be out in the pasture, not paying attention, with a mature male, and he will clobber you. Point number 16, don't leave collared or haltered animals unattended. All it takes is a minute for them to get that collar or that halter wrapped around something or hung up on something, and it can potentially choke them to death. Point number 17, don't ever assume that a sick animal will get better on its own without any intervention. If you find yourself with a sick sheep or a sick goat and you decide, I'm just going to leave them and check on them tomorrow, chances are you're going to come out and find a dead animal. Point number 18, avoid feeding your sheep and goats a mineral block. Consider feeding them loose mineral. Mineral blocks, they're really hard on their teeth. Point number 19, don't give high phosphorus feed to males. Phosphorus calcium imbalance is what leads to urinary calculi. Point number 20, your complete feed should not be over 20% protein. At no time should you be feeding a supplement to your animals that is over 20% protein. It is too hard on them. It can cause serious damage to their kidneys and it can hurt them. Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. We really do appreciate it. If you're new to Linessa Farms, welcome. Make sure you subscribe and hit the thumbs up button down below. If you want to check out our forum, it's easy to find. Go to Facebook and do a search for Linessa Farms Tack Box. Also, we have a store where you can buy all kinds of helpful feed, minerals, and medications. That can be found along with lots of free handouts and other information at our website, www.linessafarms.com. Point number 21, don't go cheap on your breeding males. For goodness sakes, they're 50% of the genetics of your flock. If you're gonna spend some high dollars, spend it on your males. Point number 22, don't ever withhold water. These animals need water in order for their rumen to function properly. Even if you're weaning, you're never going to be able to effectively dry out a ewe or a doe by simply withholding water. Point number 23, don't buy breeding stock from the sale barn. They're at the sale barn for a reason, and you're probably not going to like it if you buy them and bring them home and try to make them your breeding stock. Point number 24, don't handle any sick, dead, dying, or aborted animals without wearing proper protective equipment. A lot of these animals can have bugs, viruses, bacteria, and other issues that can make you or your loved ones very sick. Point number 25, don't feed moldy hay. Don't buy moldy hay, don't feed moldy hay. Moldy hay, especially with sheep and goats, can make them very sick, can spread diseases like listeria, and can kill them or cause abortion. Point number 26, don't withhold hay or roughage. They need this stemmy and or grassy goodness in order to keep their rumen cooking and working properly. This is a huge mistake that a lot of show people will make. As they get closer to show, they'll feed all grain and no hay. At the end of the day, you need at least bare minimum 1 fistful of hay per day. Obviously, if they're out on pasture, they get all the roughage that they need. Number 27, don't keep your males and your females together throughout the year. Males Males and females belong together when they are breeding. Other than that, you need to keep your males separate. Point number 28, do not physically punish your animals or tolerate others that would do so. Point number 29, don't be aggressive with or overhandle your males. Males should be left alone with a buddy, that is it. Do not cuddle them, do not pet them, do not pat their head. Leave them alone, because that little cutie pie is going to grow up to be a great, big, dangerous monster. Point number 30, don't wait until the last minute or until you have a sick animal to contact your veterinarian. Contact your veterinarian now. While your animals are healthy, set up a rapport with them. Let them know who you are, where you're at, and what you're doing. This will make your life a whole lot better if an emergency should come up. We do not know everything about animals. We don't expect you to know everything about animals. We rely on veterinarians just like you do. Make sure you establish a relationship with them now. Well, that was kind of fun, a little bit different, not something that we're used to, but I think we made our points. This will give us lots of leeway to talk about things in the future. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, if you have input, make sure you leave it below. We actually want to hear what you have to say. I'm Tim from Linessa Farms, Specialty in Heirloom Livestock. Thanks for joining us again today, and I look forward to seeing you again next time.